What's going on, guys? Welcome to another live stream on this beautiful Halloween night. My name is Twisty the Clown, filling in for Cat Daddy Crypto today. How's everybody doing? Let me know what you guys are drinking. How's everybody feeling? I don't know how many people we're actually going to have on stream tonight because there's probably a lot of people out there trick-or-treating. Probably not actually trick-or-treating, but trick-or-treating with their kids. Most people who watch me, I would imagine, are too old to be trick-or-treating, but I don't judge. I don't judge. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah? No? Yes? No? Yes? No? Let me see if I can hear myself, huh? Okay. Okay. That's enough of this. Oh, okay. Okay, we're back to normal. I literally almost died because I can't breathe in that mask. Okay, you guys saw me without my hat for the first time probably ever as well. Ugh. Man. Yeah, we've got a rough cycle that we're in right now. You know? Let's go Dodgers. I am not a Dodgers fan, although I don't really mind if they win, to be honest with you. Can you guess what team I'm a fan of if you've seen the tattoo on my arm? The Oakland Athletics, and the management ownership is absolutely atrocious, and I stopped watching baseball until the A's get a new ownership group, because they just keep effing us fans in the ass over and over and over and over again, selling all of their players. Johnny Taco, welcome in, buddy. Be more, KASPA is cooked. KASPA is not cooked. The whole market's cooked right now. And it has been for a while. I don't know what the heck's going on. But I still believe that we are going to see a cycle top this year still. I still believe that until I'm proven otherwise. Yeah, don't sell it all now. I mean, you can if you want to. I'm not going to try and tell you what to do, but yeah, bets. KASPA is just fine. So, Bets, Riley, everybody else's comments that I just went through. Eric, welcome in. Again, I don't know how many people are actually going to show up tonight because of, it's Halloween. And on the East Coast of the United States, it's going to be, dark outside. It's going to be 8 o'clock at night, so people are probably already out and about. In other countries, I have no idea if you even celebrate it or not. But, plus it's probably like the day after Halloween at that point. So, we'll probably keep the stream somewhat short tonight because I've got some other things I've got to do after this as well. But the one thing I wanted to go over today, right? The market is, again, kind of just going sideways. And the reason, I'll apologize, that I haven't been creating and posting a ton of videos, recorded videos during the week. And that's because there's not a whole lot going on. And I don't want to be one of those guys that's just posting by KASPA every single day without any alpha involved, without anything new that I feel worthy to share with you guys, right? I don't want to waste anybody's time. And so that's the reason. You're going to see some weeks where I, pump out a ton of recorded videos, and you're going to see other weeks where there might not be any recorded videos. But every Friday, we're still going to do this stream, regardless. When the market starts to turn around a little bit, or if KASPA has some big news, or crypto in general has some big news, then I will make some more recorded videos on those topics. But I see some other people out there that are literally, same title, same exact thing, buy KASPA, it's early, and they just repeat the same thing over and over again. And who the hell wants to sit and watch a recorded video of 30 minutes of someone just repeating buy KASPA now? It's a best buying opportunity, right? We already know that. I don't need to tell you guys that every single day. Bets, I don't know what happened to Christian, or exactly what you're referring to. I know that he had a bunch of KASPA on Kraken with some leverage of some sort going on. So he was trading it, I believe, whether he was in a long or a short, and he got liquidated and lost a lot of it. I don't know if anything's happened since then. Oh, he deleted his X account. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know then. I know he lost a ton of KASPA. He said he's still part of the family. But the reason why he would delete his X account, I have no idea. The one thing I wanted to share with you guys today, though, because I've seen this going around X. Let me get this pulled up here. And I apologize about this little white blob that's right on the, I guess it would be left-hand side of me or right-hand side, depending on which way you look at it. It's light coming in through a window, and for some reason, even with the shades down, that little piece of light still comes in, and I can't figure out why. So Mexi, there's a ton of stuff going around X today about Mexi being insolvent and going bankrupt. I don't know how many of you guys use Mexi or, have in the past or still do for that matter, but a lot of, even this lady right here who is apparently some sort of CEO figure at Mexi says we fucked up. We apologize to the White Whale V2, and his money is already released. He can claim it now anytime. I messed up in communicating with him. I got emotional, and I shouldn't have. Since I joined Mexi 2 months ago, I've been fighting behind the scenes to get Mexi to change. We grew really fast, blah, 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 blah. I don't need to read the rest of that. Mexi is a smaller, kind of sketchier exchange. It's been around for a little while now, but it's extremely important to get your money off of exchanges, no matter what it is, no matter how much you trust this exchange, because inevitably there will be at least one more that goes down after this cycle. And it could be Mexi. It could be something else. I don't know who it's going to be, but I can almost guarantee you with 100% certainty that there will be at least one exchange that goes down. They always do as we enter a bear market. And you don't want to be that guy holding your money on that exchange that goes insolvent and steals all your money, right? Happened with FTX last cycle, big exchange. Everybody trusted it. Now, what apparently happened here was this guy had the White Whale V2 had about $3 million in a trading account on MEXC, and they, I guess, suspended or held, restricted him from using his funds for suspicious activity or something like that. And I don't think he did anything wrong, and she's even apologizing. She says we fucked up. Whoever this lady is. And that's just a reminder again that when you hold your money, when you hold your crypto on exchanges, it is not yours. They have control over it, and if they don't want you to spend it, a lot of people think that they're insolvent because they weren't allowing this guy to pull his money off the exchange because it was $3 million and they needed that $3 million, or they didn't have it laying around, right? And they had to scramble to get it for him so that they could give him his money back. I don't know exactly what went on behind the scenes, but what I do know is I don't want to be part of that at any point in time, right? Whether it's $500 or whether it's $3 million, right? And MEXC is just an example of what any exchange can do. Any of them. And I used to like MEXC. I bought a lot of crypto on it. And for full disclosure, all of my PEAQ, P-E-A-Q token was sitting on MEXC because I didn't know where else to put it. I wanted to put it in the Tangem wallet. Tangem does not support it yet. And so it was just sitting on MEXC. And today, because of all this FUD, I ended up pulling, I exchanged it back into USDT and I pulled it off of MEXC. And so now I don't own any more PEAQ token, which I'm not terribly happy about, but I don't know what else to do. I don't want to keep it on an exchange anymore. I want to get off of MEXC just in case all of this is true. Okay? And Ski Bum, who we all know and trust, right? He's been reposting a lot of things. So Cypher Spider reposted here. If MEXC, let me blow this up actually. Hold on a second. So you guys can actually see. If MEXC is insolvent, it'll be the third company Cecilia takes down Hat Trick. Because apparently she just joined MEXC 2 months ago. But previously with Morphlayer, I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming it's some sort of exchange. And then Femex, I guess, went down as well. So, I don't know exactly who this Cecilia is, but apparently she's been involved with other exchanges that have completely gone under. So anyways, there's multiple things here, and I don't know if MEXC is solvent. I don't know if CoinEx is solvent. I don't know if Kraken is solvent. I don't know if Coinbase is solvent. I don't know. And none of us know. You would imagine some of these bigger exchanges probably are, but you don't know that. And it just takes the beginning of a bear market for, what is that saying? When the tide goes out, you see who's swimming naked. And when a bear market starts, which I don't think we're on the cusp of yet, right? We're getting close, I think, within a matter of like 4 months, 5 months, maybe at the most. But when that occurs, the tide goes out, and a lot of these companies, a lot of these projects, a lot of these exchanges are swimming naked right now. And we will see who those people are as soon as this next bear market starts. And I don't want to be caught up in any of that anymore, because I got caught up in it last cycle with Celsius and almost BlockFi. And luckily I didn't have anything money-wise on FTX, because that would have been the hat trick for me, almost losing money. And so all of my funds are on cold storage wallets, and that's where they're going to stay. And so my USDT now from my PEAQ holdings are now in USDT on my Tangem wallet. which, by the way, MEXC did allow me to pull my money off of their exchange into my cold wallet, so it wasn't nearly as much as $3 million, so maybe that was the issue. It was a lot less than that, but I was able to pull it off and put it in my Tangent wallet, and it's safe there now. Let me know if you guys actually use MEXC or used to, because I used to love that exchange, and now it's just old relics and maybe manipulation and a lot of crap. And then most of you guys that are watching this right now, I would imagine, have a Tangent wallet already. But if you don't, make sure you get a Tangent wallet, okay? They have... You'll sleep better at night. Your funds will be safe, and they've never been hacked. And you're in control of your own money, your own crypto, right? Which is exactly what should be happening with every single person investing, especially after past cycles and things that have happened. I mean, even back in cycle 1 or 2, maybe it was, Mt. Gox, basically the only exchange for crypto, stole everybody's money. So, if you are going to use these exchanges, any single one of them, MEXC or anything, right? Even if it's Coinbase for that matter, the best thing to do is buy your crypto and then get it off of the exchange. Use it to buy if you need to, but immediately move it off the exchange so that you're not in any sort of risk if something does happen. The link's in the description for the official Tangent website as well, and you can use code CATDADDY at checkout if you want 10% off. You don't have to. Get yourself a wallet either way. I don't know why you wouldn't want 10% off, but if you don't want to use the promo code, no big deal. Just get a wallet. Please get a wallet. Don't fall victim to scams. Yeah, I see a lot of people used to use MEXC, it seems like, or using them for low caps. I now tend to use, instead of MEXC, because they were suspending withdrawals, especially with KASPA, a lot. For whatever reason, I changed over, and anytime I need to buy a low cap coin, I use CoinX, which is my go-to now, because I've never had a problem getting money off of CoinX. Sending KASPA off of it, or any other coin for that matter. Are you working on setting up a public node? You can still remain anonymous. It's a bullish movement. I don't know. I keep forgetting to check. I only have one. I used to have a big ol' multi-unit GPU mining rig. Is where I started mining KASPA way back, almost right after. I mean, it was right after Ethereum went proof of stake, and everybody was looking for something else to mine. KASPA is what I came across. I didn't know anything about it at the time, but I started mining it, and that it wound up being one of the best decisions I ever made. But then I bought one of the very first in production of the KS0s from Ice River, and it's not working right now for some reason. I keep forgetting to check on it, so I don't even have anything to run a node on. Unless you can run a node without mining, I don't think that's possible. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I'll have to figure out what's going on with my actual miner before. And I barely make any KASPA on that thing now. It used to make quite a bit in the scheme of things, and now it's very little. Yeah, I believe proof that this is true, Bets. KASPA was overbought since 2021 and needed a year's worth of correction. So that happens a lot in crypto, and a lot of people just came into the market recently and don't understand the ebbs and flows and don't understand that when a coin runs the way KASPA did, it can't just keep running and running and running without taking a time period to cool off, reset itself, and, you know, just chill out for a little while before it can run again. KASPA will explode once Tier 1s list it, correct then? Yeah, it will, providing Tier 1s do list it. I still think Binance is going to list it. I don't know about anything else. And I'm not 100% sure about Binance either. I just have a gut feeling. Eric, you clearly aren't looking at the market as a whole right now. Everything's dead on the vine, if you want to call it that. Until it's not. $75 to $80K soon. See, I'm in the boat where that's not going to happen until probably next year bear market. Unless it's like a super quick wick down and it comes right back above the 50-week moving average and closes, then it's possible. Because if it doesn't, then that typically means the cycle's over. And I just don't think the cycle's over yet until I'm proven otherwise. But I do agree that sometime next year, we usually bottom out a year after the top is in, and we only know that retrospectively. But I would imagine that we would probably see 60, 70K KASPA. 60, 70K KASPA would be amazing. Bitcoin in the bear market at its lows, providing it goes up to like 150. Because I think we're only going to get about a 70% drop roughly on Bitcoin this next bear market. Yeah, so I'm assuming this is pointing at the Christian Ludwig. I'll have to look into that. I'll ask a few people too and see if I can get some insight on that. But it's interesting if he did. I wonder what's going on. Mexi, I'm assuming, only using it for small margin. Yeah, you can technically keep money on an exchange for trading if you want. Just make sure it's not a whole lot, and if you win big, take your profits and get your profits off of the exchange. What do you think of Mute? It's a privacy chain on virtuals. I've never heard of it, but if we come over here and scoot Oops. Scoot this back over. I'm assuming it's this one. Well, if it's this token, it's already rebranded and it's only been out for... Oh. No, this can't be it. This has been out since 2021. See, this is what happens with the old tokens. A lot of them you'll find they rebrand to a different name, so you think that they're brand new again, and it's their first cycle. If this is the coin you're talking about, Virtuals hasn't been around, I don't think, since 2021. So it's probably not this. And if it's not that, then maybe it's this one. Well, I don't know. There's a bunch of them. I don't know which one it is. I can't look at all of these. I don't even know what that just took me to. Anyways, if it's not even on CoinMarketCap, I'm not touching it. Thank God. I hate when people spam YouTube videos of buy KASPA. This is just going to keep people thinking KASPA is a shitcoin instead of knowing the value behind tech. Yeah. So my thought process is that I know for me personally, I don't like watching videos on YouTube that literally come on and repeat the same damn thing every single day. Right? It gets boring and I'll stop watching. And so that's not the kind of, YouTuber that I want to be. I want to have... I only want to create videos that I think are worthwhile, that have some sort of alpha or some sort of interesting concept to them, without just going over all of the technicals every single day and saying it's so undervalued, just buy it. Because that gets extremely boring, especially in this sort of market where people are tired and frustrated and they don't want to hear that every single day. Maybe some people do, I don't know. But I don't want to, and I know I don't want to be a broken record. And so as soon as there's things that I see that are worth, I feel are worth my time and your guys' time to watch, then I will create videos on those topics. But everything is so damn boring right now that all I would be doing, I could go on and talk about Jonathan Sampolinsky in the Binance voting stuff, but you see it all over X anyways. Why do I need to come on and say it? In fact, I think he probably won, didn't he? If that voting, the Binance speaker voting, whatever that is over. I know Michael Sutton dropped to third place. But anyways, to full circle that, some weeks I'll be putting out some videos and some weeks I won't. It's just because I don't want to waste anybody's time by just creating videos telling you how undervalued KASPA is and that you need to buy it every day, over and over again. Because you already know that, or at least some of you do. Some of you think it's dead in the water. Yeah, get your coins off of exchanges. Let's see, how many viewers do we have? I'm wondering if we're going to have a much lower turnout today. Yeah, we only have 43 in attendance tonight, which is fine. I was expecting something quite lower. So a lot of people are getting... A lot of these comments that we're pulling up are repeat users, obviously. Repeat Caspians. Because we don't have a ton of people in watching us. Which is fine. It's more important to be out with your family anyways. It would be interesting to see what would happen if everyone were to take all of their cash off exchanges on KASPA's birthday. That would be fun. It would create some sort of supply shock where the exchanges would need to buy more. I would imagine OTC or on the open market. It would create some sort of shock in the supply. The problem is you've got so many people that hold it that it's going to be impossible to make that happen. And you've probably got some big wallets out there that are, part of what we consider market manipulators. You could argue some of the exchanges, like MEXC, is part of that. But I mean, if you, like you said, if you take all your cash off of MEXC, what they're probably going to do is just suspend withdrawals at a certain point if it got out of hand, and so that they don't go insolvent for KASPA or any other coin for that matter. But that's another reason why you need to get it off, because if something like that starts to happen, you want to be ahead of that. You don't want to be trying to get your money off of an exchange during a chaotic period of time. You need to do it beforehand. Yeah, USDT is a centralized service. They have to have funds that back what they say they have on hand. But what else are you going to do, right? You have to put yourself... I mean, USDC is the same way. Binance BUSD is the same. Like, it's all... it's all technically centralized. There's no way around it. Unless you go back to fiat in your bank, and then that's very centralized as well. So, like anything you do, right, if you're going to hold some sort of stables, to buy the dip or whatever you're going to do with them, through the first half of the bear market, then you just have to know what you're holding. Yeah, I did the same. I used it for low cap coins. Now I use CoinX. Although I haven't really bought any low cap coins in a while. I've kind of just been sitting on what I have, waiting patiently for alt season to start. I've been buying a little bit here and there, but it's negligent compared to what I was doing in 2022, 2023. Used to use MEXC until withdrawals were suspended. Yeah, that's when I stopped, because you can't get your KASPA off of the exchange you buy it on. You don't want to use it anymore, naturally. Moved to Kraken and Pionex. Pionex is interesting. I still have an account with them. I haven't been on there in a while, though. But yeah, Pionex is a decent exchange, I think. I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them, just like any other exchange. But, they have Nacho, they have KASPA available, and you can just buy it and get it off. You can run a node without mining. Interesting. I'll look into it then. I'll join the party in the near future here. Tappets, good morning from the Philippines. Thanks for joining us. The Philippines sounds like an amazing place to live. Friday Night Live. It's fun to be part of. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Crypto Otis. Yeah, if even if you don't see any recorded videos during some weeks, you're still going to have this stream that you can tune into on Fridays. And then we'll cover, certain things that have happened throughout the week in a lighter tone. Although, what's funny is I don't really get any new subscribers from these live streams or nearly as much attention or views. What really gets me the subscriber count up is those videos during the week. But it's hard to make them when there's nothing going on. I want to get up to that 10K subscriber count so that I can give away that 10K KASPA. But it's just extremely difficult to make videos in this environment that we're in right now. The World Series is on, yeah. That also is probably why I have less people tuned in here. Be more. Talk about VProgs. I have to research that, man. I know it has something to do with smart contracts set up in the background, I believe. But I am not versed in that to speak about it right this second. Funny how KASPA is literally the best asset in the history of the world since its beginning, but people still think it's dead. Yeah. That's going to happen. The crypto space is very tribal. And so there's going to be people who swear by something else and, without even looking into KASPA, they're not going to care. They're just going to call it a shitcoin. But if I were to bet money on anybody coming in here with their favorite crypto coin and telling me it's the end-all be-all, I would bet my life savings on KASPA over that coin. And you don't even have to tell me what it is. I still bet KASPA wins out in the end. Unless you come in here with Bitcoin. And even that, I'm not betting my life savings on Bitcoin. But you know what I mean. Like, people coming in here with these random layer ones that no one's ever heard of, or projects being built on layer ones, thinking they're the end-all be-all in crypto, probably have some hard times coming in the upcoming years when they realize their coin is going to die after this cycle and never come back to relevance. Yeah, KRC20s on CoinX are good. They list quite a few of them. Use Uphold, guys. Fees are a little high, but you can get your crypto off easy. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but wasn't Uphold And maybe they've changed, because I've never used Uphold. They've been around, and they listed KASPA back in the day, but back in the day, and I'm talking about like 2023, late 2022, when people were just starting to buy it, you weren't allowed to withdraw your KASPA from Uphold. I would imagine they've probably changed that now, or they wouldn't, people would stop using them. Yeah, for me, I have an account on probably 6 exchanges, and I don't need an account on any more of them. I feel like it's hard enough to keep track of the ones that I do have an account on, and I try not to use them all that much either, because it just gets overwhelming. And back in 22 and 23, I was on and off. I was going ape shit with these low caps, buying on these low cap exchanges. Using the VPN and setting up a second email so that I can get onto these exchanges, and it was a hassle, man. And there was like 4 or 5 of them that I was using, trying to buy all these low cap coins before bigger exchanges listed them, and it got exhausting, to be honest with you. So all of that I did back then, I packed my bags with certain things that I want to hold, and I sold a bunch of that stuff as well at multiple X's higher, but the stuff that I want to hold, I'm still holding, and I just kind of am exhausted this cycle. I'm just holding what I have, buy a little here and there, until we either get the alt season or we get the confirmation that we're in a bear market. Like, what else can you do at this point, As gloomy as that sounds, I still believe that November, December should be pretty bullish for altcoins, but, I can't guarantee that to anybody, so. But if we don't get an alt season, then this cycle is way different than, every other previous cycle. But just go back and look at 2017. 2017 played out similarly to what's going on right now. And alts didn't run till like mid-November through December, and some even into like the first week of January. Short, quick, violent. We still got an alt season. Everything went parabolic. And, even though it doesn't seem like that's going to happen right now, I'm going to continue to think that we're still going to have this alt season just like we've had every other cycle, until I'm proven wrong. And I'm going to continue to think it's going to be Q4 this year until I'm proven wrong. And if I'm proven wrong, then we just wait a little longer because the cycle's probably extended. Or if Bitcoin closes, weekly closes below the 50-week moving average, that typically tells us the cycle's over. And then, do what you want at that point. You probably should sell your altcoins and, hold on to your stables until a year after that. But we don't even need to talk about that yet, because my gut feeling says we're still going to have an alt season this year. Probably late. Maybe it'll be a nice Christmas present for all of us who celebrate Christmas. For those of you who don't, it'll still be a nice Christmas present, even though you don't celebrate. Yeah, Bets, I see all of your comments here. They're showing up one word at a time. You keep saying your comments are getting deleted. They might be. I don't see them though. I'm not deleting them if that's what you're thinking. Yeah, go to cas.fyi, type in Binance 06. Yeah, it's you can point CAS what are they, a KNS address at certain wallets. So there's like 5 different wallets that point to that, and so I don't think it's real. I guess it's possible, but yeah. Yeah, wallet number 1, and Binance 06, which is the KASPA KNS address, .cas, are linked, but there's also a bunch of other wallets linked, and you can direct wallets to that. And so I don't, as you please. You can make up new names and direct them towards that wallet in some fashion or another. So chances are somebody just did that to mess with us. As far as who I think wallet number 1 is, well, just because the KNS address, Binance 06, is not officially Binance's KNS, doesn't mean that wallet number 1 isn't still Binance. Right? That just means that the KNS address that was linked to it's probably made up by somebody who's trying to be funny. Or maybe it is them. I doubt they created a KNS address to their wallet. Anyways, beyond the point, I would imagine wallet number 1's either a market maker. A lot of people are pointing to Wintermute, or it's Binance. But I think Wintermute actually sells to Binance and a lot of other exchanges, so that wouldn't surprise me either. But whoever it is has got a hell of a lot of money, and they just bought more, by the way. Let me pull that up real quick, because they've bought more for the last few days now, after that like $158 million buy. Actually, they've been sending. Holy crap. Today they've been busy. It's technically, for them, it's like super small amounts, though. It's like $500 or $3,000 worth of cash sending out, but they received 11 million. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 11,000. That's interesting. Yeah, they've offloaded a bunch today. Oh my god. This first 2 pages are all today's outflows. I might have to look into this and see what the heck's going on, because another 12,000 added, but they're sending. It's almost like they're adding 12,000 and then they're sending it in smaller amounts out. Although this one's 98,000. I wonder if they're diversifying into another wallet so that they don't have everything in one. I'm not really sure. But this is all the 31st. This is crazy. Did anybody else see this? This is literally, we're on page 5, and it's all small outflows. We don't need to go any further than page 6, but wow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. They might be diversifying into another wallet, or they're selling to, potentially another exchange. If they are a market maker, then they could be selling to an exchange, OTC. The outflow from wallet 10. Where's wallet 10? Oh yeah, 41 million outflow. Interesting. Wallet number 2, MEXC, had a 35 million outflow. Bybit bought a little bit. What do you mean I'm looking at the wrong one? This is wallet number 1. Oh, I am looking at the wrong one. Bets. How did I miss? I clicked on wallet 2, it looked like. Okay. So that was MEXC's wallet that I was in. Never mind. This makes a lot more sense. Wallet number 1 has been steadily buying 3 million as of 2 days ago. Yesterday they bought another 1.6 million. Okay. So that whole entire time I was literally looking at the wrong wallet. Thank you, Bets, for clearing that up. How did I click on the wrong wallet? It's literally the top one. Idiot. Anyways, sorry for wasting everybody's time. Let's see. No. Stella, check out the historical chart for quantitative tightening, quantitative easing, joined with Bitcoin and altcoin season. Typically, I think last cycle, actually, Bitcoin topped out like 3 months before QT ended. Because it's hard to look at last cycle because QT ended in 2019, which is a post-halving year. Or excuse me, pre-halving year. And now we're in a post-halving year, so if I were to, and this is the last thing I'll say before I take off today, if I were to take a guess on what I think's going to happen, and keep in mind this is just a guess, I think that QT is ending, right, in the beginning of December. And I think that alone, providing we get, another rate cut in December, is going to be enough catalyst to give us some sort of parabolic run. Okay? Now, that means, if that's the case, and maybe it's just the thought of the quantitative tightening ending in December, gives us a top in November potentially too. I don't know exactly how it's going to end up, but I think that news is going to give us enough to give a parabolic top in November, December. And then we also have the news of, right, the kind of the first third to the middle of next year when Jerome Powell gets taken out of office, right? His term's up, and they're going to appoint somebody who's going to be more up to cutting rates. If I were to take a guess looking out, I think that whole Jerome Powell thing is going to benefit us next cycle. rather than this cycle. That's just what I'm guessing, right? And I don't know how much of a parabolic top we're going to get. I don't know what the catalyst on top of quantitative tightening ending will be, but there's got to be something, right? If the market makers and the people in charge want to have a parabolic top in Q4 like they've always done, then that's what's going to happen. If they don't want that, then it's not going to happen. But even back, if you go back to the stock market over God knows how many decades, all business cycles are roughly 4 years, except for very few of them. And so could this be one of those very few that's not, ending around 4 years? Yeah, it could be. But why bank on that with all of your eggs in that basket if that's an anomaly that only happens every, so often, very few times throughout history, right? The vast majority of business cycles are roughly 4 years, and we're hitting that 4-year mark from the last business cycle. And so I think it is a better, a better strategy to assume that's what's happened, throughout history, stock market and then in crypto since its beginning, is going to play out again the same way until it doesn't, right? You've got to be open-minded that it's not going to happen, but for me, I'm going to assume that it's going to happen until it doesn't. And I think that the quantitative tightening ending, I know what I think might happen is Powell alluded to the fact that we might not get a rate cut in December. Now, what if that changes, right? Because everybody's expecting, the odds have dropped a little bit. What if we do get a rate cut in December? Quantitative tightening ends on December 1st, and boom, altcoins go parabolic. All the way through December and into early January. What if that's the case, right? And then the business cycle resets halfway through next year, right? We go into a bear market halfway through next year. We get Jerome Powell out of office. The new chair is going to be a lot more dovish. And I think what's going to happen there is interest rates are going to drop pretty rapidly at that point. And that's what's going to set us up, right? Moving into the end of 2026, where Bitcoin will likely bottom if everything beforehand plays out the same. And then we move into what I think will be more of a similar cycle to the 2020 and 2021 cycle, where it's a little more elongated, right? The bear market's shorter, but we get a little bit of an elongated alt season rather than what we are potentially going to see this cycle, where it's going to be, it seems like everything's dead up until it's not at the very end of Q4. Right? That's just my speculative theory of what's going to happen. And everybody's talking about Jerome Powell, getting the boot out of office because his term's up, and the crypto cycle is going to extend up until then. But I actually think that that's going to benefit the next cycle, right? And just like in 2019, pre-halving year, we got rate cuts, quantitative easing started, and it seemed like we had an elongated alt season for, over a year, right? Maybe 2 years. I think that might be what we're setting up for next cycle, where we get quantitative easing started in late 2026 or early 2027, and boom, we're off to the races for next cycle. And alts run faster next cycle. We get more of a 2021 cycle. Now, remember, I'm just guessing all of this. I have no idea what's actually going to happen. That's how I see it playing out. We'll see if I'm right. So, on that note, guys, I got to get going. So, I appreciate everybody for coming in, hanging out. I know the World Series on. I know it's Halloween. But everybody that was here, I appreciate you guys. And make sure you pay your bar tabs before you leave. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as well as liking the video. And in the meantime, continue to pack your damn bags before it's too late.